Okay, so we are now recording. So grab your pen and papers, you guys. Tonight I wanted to talk about social media because that's how we run our business mostly. And I know a lot of you, we have branding coaches, we have coaches getting back into the swing of things, and social media is honestly one area that I know from looking at everybody's social medias. It can be a place that we can improve on. Social media is always growing, always changing, and it's a great place for us to really dive in and create new connections to help build our tribes, to help build our teams, our challenge groups, and all that wonderful stuff. So I'm going to do my best tonight to give you guys as many tips as possible that you guys can actually start implementing into your businesses to really help you. So I kind of wanted to start out with branding. This is something that is super important to you, so you stand out, but more importantly, you start attracting people who are like you. Nothing is worse than when you start attracting people who are not like you. And so the best thing that you want to do is really start branding yourself to attract people who you want to work with. Branding essentially is kind of like a scary word. I find whenever I hear branding, I like freak out. And even I was talking to my mom about branding on Monday, and she was like, "Oh, what is branding?" And essentially branding is you. Branding is the beating heart behind the screen. So the images that are there, that reflects you. The personality behind the screen, that's you. And you have to be able to show that through your social media. So through your stories, through your Facebook posts, through your pictures, all that wonderful stuff is essentially the beating heart of you and your personality behind the screen. And that's honestly how it's so incredible now that all of our social medias really hone in on individuality. So for myself personally, I know I've been working very hard on branding. People know that I love hats. I'm a dog mom. If you guys look at my Insta page, it is basically blues, whites, and pink. Those are kind of my three colors that I love to work with, that vibrate and make me feel good and wonderful. But people know I'm a dog mom. People know that I'm single AF and love it. People know that I am creating a business, but more importantly, that I love going for walks in the, I don't know, in the fields and stuff like that. Are you guys finding it like sketchy and stuff like that? Is that me, or is that just unique? Okay. Is it the sound that's being sketchy? Okay, it makes me feel weird noises and lagging behind. Oh, because you guys are like full speed on my end here. Okay, interesting. Can you guys still hear me okay? Is it just that my mouth isn't working? Okay, me and Mac are on the same time zone. So maybe you Manitoba chicks, especially in Winnipeg, are having some technical difficulties. So I'm just going to blame that. That's hilarious. But you guys know, like, I drop F-bombs. I drop truth bombs. I'm athletic. I love self-love, self-worth, and motivating. Like, that's my brand. That's my social media. So you need to start diving into what really ignites you guys. What are you? Like, who are you, essentially? What are like 5 things to describe you? And if you guys aren't sure, literally go and text 10 of your friends and say, "Hey, what are like 5 things you think of when you think of me?" Literally, it's the best thing to pump your own tires. But I go and every once in a while I'll be like, "Friends, I need 3 things that describe me." Or 3 things when you hear my name, what do you think of? And people will be like, your laugh, you're motivating, and fitness. Like, those are 3 things that people think of when they think of me. And so that's a great way for you to start understanding your brand, is who do you want to be? And my biggest tip is be who you are on social media. It's so difficult that, and I find it really funny when people like do an Insta story or any sort of thing, and what ends up happening is they go into like their social media voice and be like, oh my God, hi guys. And you notice that their voice goes like 10 times higher than what it actually is, or they have a fake voice. So if you're talking to them in person, it's totally different. Or what's worse is if you meet somebody on social media, I can think of plenty of coaches who you have their vision of who they are on their social media, and you're so excited to meet them, but that's not who they are whatsoever. And it's literally the biggest disappointment in the world, and they're the polar opposite human beings ever. So my biggest tip is please, please, please be who you are. Be confident in who you are and share who you are on your social media. Another thing that I want to kind of hone in on, I'll share that one later, but I'm going to dive into kind of like little sectors of social media. So on our stories, so Facebook and Instagram have stories, right? Those are kind of like two major platforms. If you guys are using any other platforms like Twitter, Snapchat, anything else, be sure that you guys are sharing the same content or similar content on those. But tonight, for me, I run my business on Facebook and Instagram. So I'm going to be talking about stories. So my biggest tip for you guys is on your Insta stories, make sure that you have it that people can message you and reply to your stories. So when you guys go into your settings on your Instagram stories, there's a little section that'll actually stay like, let people reply to my Insta stories. Because if you guys are asking questions on your Insta stories, and being like, hey, what's your opinion on this? Well, they can't answer you because you have that off. So make sure that you have that on. Another major tip is make sure that you have your Insta stories feeding to your Facebook. So your Facebook and Instagram are combined together. That's going to be something awesome because you already have a following on Facebook, and then you have this other following on Instagram. And crazy thing that you guys might not know is I think they say about 20% of your followers actually see your stuff on Instagram and Facebook. 20%. So if you guys have like 100 followers, like nobody is seeing your content. But I will teach you how to get them to see your content. But going back to stories, besides having people being able to reply and hooking your Insta stories up with Facebook stories, Insta stories is a great place for you guys to really share your life. For me, I share my morning routine every single morning. You guys can see me doing either my gratitude journal, my cup of coffee, whatever it is in the morning. There's a post usually with a timestamp, maybe a morning quote, but I'm usually playing music because that is my morning routine. So sometimes people start off with a morning quote to get their day started. Some people share something, but what is something that you guys can post on your social media or on your Insta stories every single day to really gain that repetitiveness? And I've noticed a few days that I didn't post that, and people are like, are you okay? Like, what's happening? Like, where did you go? And that's something that my followers have started to know, that every morning they're going to see my like morning view. So start sharing your life. Let people get to know you. So same thing, I share my workouts on there. So biggest tip is share like 3 workout clips that you guys are doing your workouts. So use the hands-free on Insta stories. Record your 3 moves from your workout. You guys can plaster that with quotes or thoughts from your workout, whatever it is. But you guys can have that there. So showing a vital behavior. The first one for me, you guys, is my morning routine, which is my personal development, which is actually my second vital behavior. And post any tips on there And more importantly, same thing, let people know who you are. Don't use your fake voice on Insta stories. Talk how you do. Whatever you find is hilarious during the day, post it on your stories. Whatever you're doing, like everyday life, so people know that you're normal and not this fitness robot. Post that stuff on there. If you're a student and you're studying, you damn well be showing that you're like working your ass off, or being like, oh, I'm in class again. Make sure that you're honing in on that. If you're working every day, show people that you're working. The amount of people who, for me, say that they can't relate to me because they work a full-time job, and I'm like, JK, I have a full-time job, but they can't relate to me because they think that they have to be a full-time coach. So for you guys who are students and working full-time, and having other jobs, you guys can show that, hey, I'm doing this. Oh, and in this hour today, I worked with my side hustle kind of thing, right? So that's a place for you guys to really dive into that. Share that you're a student. Share that you're learning about something else. Share your passions. And I know you guys are really, really good with that. Like, I know Mac can share like a ton of like BC landscaping stuff. I share like the sunsets in Saskatchewan because they're freaking beautiful. Sarah, her horses, her dog, Shanique, hone into like the whole student and like, holy crap, I'm super, super busy kind of thing. I actually had a few students message me today being like, I can't handle my life. How do I deal with this? And I'm like, okay, deep breath, let's reschedule. But that's something that you guys can really hone in on, right? So use your stories as a great way for people to know you. Let your stories, my favorite person to really showcase all of this is Jillian Harris. Oh, there we go. Internet connection is unstable. Classic. It's me, guys. So, Jillian Harris has the most beautiful Instagram page. So if you guys write her name down or go creep her or follow her after this call, but her Instagram is beautiful. Like, her page is aesthetically pleasing. She puts so much thought into it, and it's unreal. You click on her Insta stories, 9 times out of 10, her bangs are like this. Her gray hairs are everywhere. She has no makeup on. She's about to burst because she's like 9 months pregnant. And she like talks about the raw and real stuff. So you get to see her like wonderful Instagram life, but then you also get to see her real life in her Insta stories. And I think that's a beautiful like combination of Instagram, real life. And that's how you guys really need to think of it on your social media is your posts on Instagram. So like your actual news feed, you should be posting a picture once a day. You want to make sure that it's clear, that it's lighting, that your photos are kind of flowing together. And you guys can use like quotes under your picture. Maybe you want to share some tips that you learned that day. But what I really want you guys to dive into is use your social media. This is literally what I've been doing for the last 2 years, is use your social media as your daily journal. And that's how you don't become salesy. That's how people trust you. And that's how you actually end up showing up every single day. And I get asked that a lot, is how in the last 2.5 years that I've been a coach, how have I only missed posting 3 days? Literally 3 days I haven't posted on social media before. And how I've been able to do that is I use my social media as my journal. When I first started Beachbody, I said my Instagram page is literally going to be my actual accountability, that I show up every single day and share your journey. And I want you guys to not, if you guys haven't read the book, Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk, you must. It's incredible. And more importantly, that's how you don't become salesy. Is I see so many posts on social media that's buy this, join this, do this, join this, be this, right? And it's exhausting. Like, I get so annoyed seeing people wanting me to buy their shit on social media all the time that it's really annoying. But you know what I love is the raw and real posts of being like, holy crap, I just lost 20 pounds following this nutrition program. Or you know what? I got to enjoy this beautiful view today. Or I'm meal prepping today because I know that my schedule this week is going to be bonkers and I want to stay on track because those are my goals, right? And start sharing that like journal, that raw and realness. And when you guys start sharing tips, sharing the real life you and confidently sharing that, that's when you guys are going to hone in on everything. And one of my absolute favorite coaches right now is Emily Favre. She literally was a coach for 4 years. Always said she'd be an elite coach. She like barely held on to diamond for 4 years. Never hit emerald, never hit elite. That was her big goal, was elite. And she like hit Success Club 5 all the time, like didn't actually take action. So last year, when she was doing, she got into the 80-day obsession test group. Now, for those of you who are starting Lift 4 on October 1st, or whatever program you're doing October 1st, I want you to take this into consideration. She had gone through, I think it was 3 miscarriages, she said, and gained like so much weight because of the stress. Her cup was literally empty. And when she got into that day 1 of the challenge group, she says, I'm going to share the raw and real of this, and I am going to do it confidently, and this program is going to change my life. That's how she went into that challenge group. So she went into it, and every single day she showed up with confidence. She showed up sharing her raw and real journey. She shared when it was hard. She shared when she was winning. She shared her tips that she was learning, and stuff that you are learning from your challenge groups. Put that into your social media posts. And when she started doing that, she started to become confident. She started to feel confident, and she started to grow. And that's when her social media truly took off, because people gravitate towards confidence. They don't gravitate towards the like, oh, like, I guess I'm showing up again, right? Like people don't want to watch like, oh, I guess I'm going to do this workout. Like, no, people really want you to dive in and hone into the process, and they want to be able to watch that. So really use your social media as your journal, as your storyboard. Share your story of how you're doing things. And once a week, ask people on your social media to join a challenge group or join your coaching sneak peek or become a coach. Like pick on like Wednesdays or Thursdays is the day that you actually put out a call to action post, right? But the more value you add into people's lives, the more you show up and become a normal person on people's social media, that's when they're really going to start trusting you and wanting to join you. When you just show up randomly, it's not going to happen. So really, really, really hone into your Insta stories, letting that be the raw and real you. Talk on your Insta story so people get to know you. Share if you're unsure of what to share a tip you learned in your challenge group. Share something that from your personal development. And when people are like, oh, I have nothing to post. Well, you know what? You obviously didn't do your personal development. Like 9 times out of 10, my posts come from my personal development that I did that day. So that's something that you guys really want to hone in onto is your personal development, sharing those vital behaviors. And that's going to be something that you really want to dive into. Some of like your write-ups with your pictures and stuff like that, that you post on Insta stories, like share that this is how I felt before, this is how I felt like during it, and this is how I feel after it. This is how I thought something was going to be, and this is how it actually is, right? When you guys can share that, that's how you can kind of weave in a story into your Insta post. So making sure that you're documenting and being authentically you. Now, something that I want you guys to list out And something that I really want you guys to think about is I want to know, and I want you to own your truths. So, what are truths about you? What separates you from other people? What's something that you've gone through? What's something that you've dealt with or dealing with? Are you a busy student? Are you okay, so for me, I wrote out one of my truths. I'm a dog mom, not a real mom. One of my truths is I was feeling completely lost before Beachbody. Like, I had no idea who the hell I was. I wasn't confident. I had no idea where I was going to go in my life. I had just graduated university and still had no idea what I was going to do or how I was going to do it. So I literally sat in my bed and watched Netflix like 14 hours a day, and then would like realize, okay, it's time for me to go to bed. Literally would waste days away. I was full of anxiety. I'd contemplated suicide. I was always talking to, when you guys are owning your truths, it's talking about the past and going into the future. And that's something that you guys want to share. What are your truths? Dig deep. Like, when I see coaches actually flourish and coaches actually dive into this is when they start thinking that their story can help other people. And that's your whole thing as a coach, is people want to know your struggles. Why did you start Lift 4? Why did you start coaching? Why did you start a challenge group? Why did you start drinking Shakeology? Shakeology was because I had migraines, and it really helped me out. And I've had one migraine in the last 2.5 years because of Shakeology. I joined challenge groups because I wanted accountability, because I was finally ready for a change and I needed people to hold me accountable, right? And those are things that when you start sharing those, rather than being like, just join my challenge group, people are going to dive into. So that, I'm trying to think if I have one more note. I don't think so. I think that is kind of like a breakdown of the social media. And really, honestly, you guys, be who you are. Dive into your stories. Don't be like surface level, because people can read surface level and people don't care about surface level. So that is my biggest thing for you guys, is to really share who you are, share your stories, and really dive into that. So if you guys have any questions, I can unmute you guys. You can ask away on social media, or you guys can ask anything. Doesn't really matter. Oopsies. Unmute all. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? Anything you want to ask? 2 Shaniques we got going on right now.
I have something to add, which I heard in a podcast.
Go for it.
Cool. Okay. So I was biking to work the other day, and I put on Rachel Hollis' podcast, Ride, and the girl named Lisa, and they were talking about social media and how
You totally cut out there, I think, unless everybody else can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it was on Rachel Hollis' podcast. I can share it in the group later. But they talked about how multi-level marketing and direct sales, whatever, how they go about selling things. And the biggest mistake that you can do, and I am guilty of it, is acting like a machine gun. So this means like you are all in, and like all of a sudden you're saying, join my group, join this, buy this, like, here I am, this is what I'm doing. And you do that for about like maybe a week, you stop, and then you don't really post, you're not consistent, you're not sharing your complete journey. And being a machine gun like that with tons of information, it scares people away, and they don't really trust you. Like, you haven't built that that trust that you need for them to buy into you. So yeah, that's one tip that I have.
Exactly. And like, honestly, you guys, that's exactly the point of sharing, like from day one of Lift 4 or day one of To Be Mindset or the start of your challenge group, that's why it worked for Emily. That's why it works for so many people, is because when you share, like for me personally, that's how I started my Instagram, is sharing that day one. Okay, how do I feel day 3? Hey, you know what? I'm still here. And showing up every single day, that builds this compound effect of the trust. And that's exactly it. So many coaches pop on and they're like, holy shit, something brand new. Try this, buy this. And people are like, who the fuck are you? Like, why should I trust you? Like, you don't know shit, right? Like, you guys have to be able to really build that trust. And that's such a good point, Mac, and something that I was like trying to bring across before and totally missed on it. But why do you drink Shakeology? Like literally write that down right now. Why do you drink Shakeology? Why do you work out every single day? How did you feel during your workout today? Why do you coach? When you guys start honing in on the why of what you're doing and not the what I'm doing, that's when people trust you. That's hilarious. I just like looked over, and my book on my little desk right there is called Start With Why. And that's the TED Talk that I shared with you guys like a month ago that you may or may not have actually watched. But that's literally why everyone has an iPhone. Apple is not the best at building phones. Apple is not the best at computers. Apple is great with selling you why you need it. They share why it's, oopsies, as Siri goes off on my phone. See, really shitty at building phones. But Apple knows that you want your life to be simple. They know that you want to connect with people and make it simple to connect with people, and make it easy for you to call your grandma, right? They want you to click one button and be able to add something to your grocery list. And here's how you can do it with our iPhone 30, right? Like that's how they create that trust. That's how people are going to start buying from you. I use Shakeology because it took away my migraines. I work out every day because it allows me to feel strong, confident, and allows me to push my limits, but also I now have a stronger core that supports my back, so I don't have back pain anymore. I was able to rehab a torn ACL and meniscus. I was able to do Lift 4 with a torn rotator cuff and a torn pec. And I was able to do that. I love the community of coaching. Like when we go to Summit, I cry every time. I'm so excited for the girls who are able to come out tomorrow and like have a sleepover. We're going to be talking about having a Christmas potluck in November. Like building this community, and like that's what's important, you guys, not buy this bag of Shakeology. And that's kind of what Carl was talking about yesterday, is it's not about buy this, do this. It's about why. Why do you show up? The perfect question would be to, well, first off, Nicole, she signed up with To Be Mindset, absolutely loved it. Then she pieced out for like a month in the summer, and now she's just like, hey, I'm back, I'm crushing it, and now I want to coach. Why? Boom. She's in the perfect position to start showing her why. Sarah started as a discount coach, joined, absolutely crushed it, and was killing it. Pieced out for the summer. She's back. Why? She loves the community. She loves how the workouts make her feel. She knows it's changed her life. Mackenzie, same thing. Started as a discount coach. Realizes she wanted freedom. Knows she can rock the business. And loves connecting with people. And is probably one of the best people on our team, being able to grow relationships through Instagram. Like, by far the best person to build like real connections and lifetime friendships through that. She comes back after she does her machine gun. She comes back because she loves the community and she sees the long-term vision of this business. When you guys get overwhelmed with the no's and the crap that goes on with coaching, go back to that why. That's why I show up every day, because I believe in you guys helping other people. I love helping other people because coaching and these programs and the nutrition plan and Shakeology and the performance line have 150% changed my life. And that's what I'm going to pay forward. And that's what you guys show on your social media. Share that passion, share that drive. Don't be buy me, buy me, buy me. Share, give, ask. That's what it's all about. Boom. That's a lovely little tangent. I'll meet you guys again. If you guys have any questions again, I'll get off my soapbox. But yeah, that was perfect, Mac. I love it.
How do you not scroll through social media?
I do when the time's right. I set timers on my phone. But even when I am scrolling, hold on, let me meet you. Okay. So when I am scrolling through Facebook, I think I've trained my mind so much that I'm always business mode, which is also kind of scary. But when I'm like scrolling through stories and stuff like that, I am messaging people and connecting with people that way, being like, if something made me laugh, I'll like message that person, be like, oh, this is hilarious. Or like, if I love something, I'll send them a heart. But when you guys are scrolling through social media, especially like Instagram, when you like somebody's post and when you comment on somebody's post, guess what? That's a vital behavior. That's you making a connection. That's you engaging with people, and that's literally our job. But honestly, my social media is business. On Facebook, for me personally, my favorite social medias that aren't business is YouTube and Pinterest. That's where I find myself scrolling, but I only go on Pinterest like if I need inspiration. But I sit down and I know that what my goals are. And when I go on social media throughout the day, I usually have a timer going and it's like, okay, build connections, go. But yeah, I find that I really don't scroll anymore, or if I am scrolling, I'm building those connections, right? It's just become like a second nature thing to be like, oh, I'm going to comment. Like when you guys send someone a message on their story, you don't have to be like, buy this. You can be like, oh, that's a cute t-shirt. Leave it at that. You don't have to sell them anything. Comment on someone's engagement photo. Congratulations. That's a connection. Like, don't overthink the whole power hour thing. I think we get so hopped up on it that we think that that's what everything needs to be strictly business. But following new people, connecting with people, that's kind of a way to do it, if that kind of sort of answers your question. But yeah, if you catch yourself scrolling, honestly, put your phone down and go for a walk. Or like, I'll like click off that social media and be like, okay, how about I go invite 3 people? Because I have 3 people that I can go and invite right now, right? Or you see someone, send them a message that way. If that kind of helps. Beautiful. Any other questions, you guys? I'm trying to think. Okay, I have a little challenge for you guys. I kind of have a couple, but I'm going to trust in you guys that you now transform your social medias into your own journey, that you transform your social medias into sharing and adding value into people's lives, and not just like join my group, right? That's how we want to transform that and start branding you. Be who you are on social media. Share you. But what I want you guys to do is, okay, there we go. What I want you guys to do is, I want you to think of like the 5 people that you follow on social media that you like love checking out. Like me, Kim Fitzpatrick, Gary V, Jillian Harris, Brooke Entz, and probably Emily Faber. We'll say those are my 5. Now, think of your 5 people like on Insta stories. Oh, I guess Shalene Johnson would be one. Who do you follow on Insta stories or Facebook or Snapchat, whatever you use? Think of those influencers that you follow, and what are things that they have that you admire about them? Is it that they're like, for me, Jillian Harris, her Insta stories is like, sorry, Bernie's barking. Her Instagram, beautiful. Her Insta stories, raw and real. So I try to translate that into my social media. Gary V, no bullshit. This is how it is. I love that because honestly, I hate people's excuses, and I'm just like, if you want to get something done, go and get it done. And that's Gary V. He's raw and real and innovative. So if you want to know anything that's about to explode in social media, you need to be following Gary V. Brooke Entz, I love her. She is an entrepreneur. She's building businesses, super fit, and just like is so confident. And I love that. Kim Fitzpatrick, she is just like all mom goals and wife goals humanly possible, and is someone who shares her light and really influences people, and sharing her passions. So I want you to think of the 5 people that you love to follow on social media, and how can you start adding that into your own social media and into your life. But my challenge to you guys is, from now till the end of the year, is show up on your social media really confident. Show up in your social media in your light. Show up that you are literally the bomb. And when you guys, like, here's the thing, is it's so funny for me right now to get this is what happened a year ago on Facebook. Because when I see those, it's hilarious, because a year ago in the summer, in August, actually it was September, because I literally saw the post and I remember that day. It was the day that I decided to, no matter what, I did not care others' opinions of what I posted on social media, but I decided I was going to show up raw and real and confident AF on my social media no matter what. And I was going to do my business for me. And thinking of where my business was a year ago and watching myself show up confidently a year ago, and that growth to where I am now, it's insane. It's totally different, but it was the evolution of it and where I started. So I wasn't the most confident human being a year ago. I was in a toxic relationship. I was super unhappy, didn't know how to get out of it, but I showed up pretty fucking happy. And I showed up confident because coaching gave me confidence. Coaching gave me light. Coaching gave me life. And that's what I loved and wanted to show up on my social media. That was my outlet. And watching that transformation is like a year's growth. So it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to have a perfect social media, but you have to start somewhere. And that's my challenge to you guys, is where can you be by December 31st with your business, with your social media, with your life? And that's where you guys really need to hone in on, is showing up for you, showing up for your goals, and going after it, being confident and going through it. So I hope that kind of makes sense. It is getting a little late, especially for you guys in Manitoba. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that kind of sort of made sense. We kind of jumped around, but social media, show up confidently, be you, own your truths. You're the beating heart behind your screen. Share that, show that. You all have incredible personalities. I love chatting to all of you, and you all have a cool fire. You all have a different vibe. And especially like the 5 of us that are on this call right now, is we all have something very, very big in common, but all of us are completely different individuals. And that is the beautiful thing. And that is why our business is so incredible, because we attract our tribes, we attract different people, and that's why this business is never ending. Because you guys can attract someone totally different than what I can attract. And that's really, really cool. So show up confidently, be you, go after it, and go achieve your goals. You guys can rock this. Go have an awesome, what day is it? Thursday night? An awesome weekend. I wish you guys were coming tomorrow. Sarah have incredible engagement photos on Saturday. Fingers crossed the weather is beautiful for you. And yeah, I'm going to be talking about like a holiday get together. We can start like planning something, because I think that would be like super awesome. But anyways, let's take a good old family photo. Everyone's like, oh my God. Okay, we'll see if I can do this. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Perfect. I actually got the screen this time. Incredible. Okay, guys, have an awesome night. Any questions, post in the team page, message me, do what you got to do. But go show up, be you. Peace and love. Adios, amigos.